So, January 30th, I posted a video about the telematic programs that our insurance companies have that claim to give you discounts on your good driving habits. And I talked about how it's, in my opinion and in my experience, a scam. And I say that because with Progressive, well, with all of them, you have to download the app and you have to give them permissions for motion and all of that stuff. You know, it detects what apps you open. It detects, of course, the movement of your phone. It detects a whole bunch of stuff, right? So here's the issue. There's a couple of issues. If you are, if you have these apps on your phone and you are, let's just say, in a Lyft, Uber, taxi cab, or even a bus, it's going to track your motions in that mode of transportation, right? If you're in a train, it's going to track that mode of transportation. Now, I'm not sure about buses, but with trains, because of the speed and the frequent stops, I don't think it always tracks those. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I do know when I had USAA, I can go in there and, identify if I was a passenger or something like that. I don't know if that's changed. I know with Progressive, you don't have that option. Another thing, again, if if you're a passenger, period. Let's just say you're not even driving your car. Let's just say you're in a rental, right? So it's tracking your motion every time you are moving. So even when you're not even in a car, you could be walking. These apps do not know if you're walking, riding a bike, if you're a passenger, if you're in your own vehicle or anything like that. And they're collecting all of this data, claiming to give you discounts on your insurance. Now, let me tell you something with Progressive, because their system the way it is, it raised my insurance. Now, 80% of the time, I do not drive to work. Okay? The majority of the time that I drive my car is, you know, maybe when I'm going to the store, going to hang out or anything like that. So I don't drive that much, especially my Sonata. It's a 2024 and I have like 16,000 miles on it. That is unheard of for me because any other time I had a Sonata, my first three Sonatas, in 2 years, I had like 60,000 miles on it. So this one only had 15,000. All right. I usually drive my Armada. But that's not the point. My point is, I just watched a video by the Chevy dude, and I'll put the card up here in the vehicle. I mean, not the vehicle, the link to the video in the description, where he was just talking about kill switches in cars. Now, I'm going to read from what I found online. So I encourage you to go look it up yourself, the exact law that they're proposing. It is which one is it? It is the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Now, this is a law, bipartisan infrastructure law, effective November 15th, 2021. There's a link to it. I'm not going to go into it. Um, it was March 31st, 2021, under Biden. So let me get down to the part that we are discussing. So it's the part with the vehicle safety. And on Wikipedia, that's what I'm reading from right now. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act requires the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to develop a safety mechanism to prevent drunk driving, which causes about 10,000 deaths each year in the United States as of 2021, which will be rolled out in phases for retroactive fitting and will become mandatory for all new vehicles in 2027. The technology which is being developed by NHTSA in cooperation with the Automotive Coalition for Traffic Safety and Swedish automobile safety company Toliv, consists of a breath-based and touch-based sensor that stops the car if the driver is above the legal blood alcohol content, and will be open source to automobile manufacturers. Under the law, the United States Department of Transportation will be required to develop regulations for a system that can detect distracted, fatigued, or impaired drivers. The NHTSA has recommended implementing a camera-based warning system for the former, similar to a technology mandated by the European Union in July 2022. The law also requires the NHTSA's new car assessment program to test collision avoidance systems in preparation for new federal regulations. New DOT reporting requirements for statistical data on crashes involves motorized scooters and electric bikes, new federal regulations on headlamps, research directives on technology to protect pedestrians and cyclists, advanced driver assistance systems, federal hood and bumper regulations, smart city infrastructure, and self-driving cars, and new Federal Highway Administration office specialized in cybersecurity. Now, look, I said a mouthful, but that is not even a portion of what's in the bill, right? And the troubling part about this is many of these vehicle manufacturers are marketing this as convenience features in your cars. So, for instance, in my Sonata, I could be driving for like 5 or 10 minutes, right? Or maybe 30 minutes. Or I could have been driving for a while. I can stop to get gas, be stopped for about 5, 10 minutes or 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever the case may be. I will start driving again and my car will say it's time for a coffee break. It's like, dude, I just stopped. Like, help me understand this right now. The other thing my Sonata does, which annoys the hell out of me, is sometimes when I'm driving, I will be holding the steering wheel and my car will say, keep your hands on the steering wheel. It's like my hands are on the steering wheel. Like you have to literally have a slight motion on your steering wheel to let the car know that you're being that you're paying attention to the road. Here's the issue, and I need you to watch Chevy Dude's video because he talked about was it the Fourth Amendment, the search and seizure thing. Now, I talked about this also in another video, how your data is being collected. Here, look, this is what annoys me about technology. I love technology, but this is what annoys me about technology and the modernization and the globalization of all this stuff. It doesn't matter what type, it doesn't matter if you're in a capitalist environment or it doesn't matter. It just does not matter. Our data is being collected every damn day in so many ways. Like, I promise you, people talk about, all this stuff on their phones and they don't want their stuff to be tracked, this, that, and the other. But look, every damn app that you download is tracking your data, tracking your movements, tracking whatever. Every phone that you buy is tracking all of this stuff. Every damn subscription that you have is tracking something. So you know how like Netflix and all of them are cracking down on sharing your accounts with other people. You ever notice on these apps where they ask for your location? I mean, come on, y'all. Yeah, I need y'all to understand that the stuff that we saw in the movies growing up is literally, literally, literally out there on the market. And it's been there for a long time. And then you hear like companies like what is it? What the company that starts with a P? I can't remember it right now. But anyway, just imagine that you're driving in your car, and because your car thinks you're impaired, not that you're actually impaired, but your car thinks you're impaired, and your car pulls over, turns on the flashers, stops, turns off, and you can't turn your car back on because your car thinks you're impaired. Not that you actually are impaired. Now, I'm not talking about the people who actually are impaired. I am just talking about the situations to where your car makes an assumption that you are impaired. Here's what bothers me, and when I was watching Chevy Dude's video, is what he mentioned. If you want to stop these things, right? If you really want to stop impaired driving, drunk driving, and things like that, just change the laws. Like, make it harder for people who get DUIs, reckless driving, and all that. How about you just make the laws a little more strict on those individuals? He was also talking about how here's the thing. Look, let's look at it like this. You know how everybody has an issue with their cell phones, and how every couple of years the performance of their cell phone degrades because they want you to buy a new cell phone, right? You know how people complain about that. They complain about that heavily with iPhones, but just look at it like this. Our technology is so monitored and controlled that everything that we have these days can be turned off at the flick of a switch. It doesn't matter anymore what you're buying, what product you're buying, because the same way that they push out update. Look, let me tell you something. My first Sonata 2008, there were no over-the-air software updates. My second Sonata 2015, you had to go to the dealer to get an update. My third Sonata 2020, you could do the updates at home or at the dealer with a USB, a thumb drive. This Sonata that I have now, over the air updates. I'll get a notification on my car, and it'll say the update starts when you turn your car off, and you just go on about your business. Same with your phones. They push updates down to your phones. Now, listen, if you have an Android, iPhone, it doesn't matter. There are billions of phones on this planet. Billions. And just think, when they update the software, they push a button or whatever they do over there, and every phone gets this update. Billions of cars on the road. Depending on the year, make, and model of your car, push a button and it sends an update. Now, Tesla, which, I've heard about several times, where they can ad- adjust the software to get where your battery gets the max potential out of it. So they by default limit your battery from max potential. And we are sitting here infighting about the stupidest things. Like, don't y'all have a problem with this? Like, do y'all really not have a problem with this? Government control of our vehicles. Now, I was looking online, right? And let me see where I was looking at. Okay. So did a and this is another thing that annoys the hell out of me. When you do a search online now, it's always some AI assistance. Like, come on. All right, so I did a search on Google and it came up as of 2020, a 2021 federal law requires advanced passive drunken driving technology in all new cars roughly 2026, 2027, which critics mislabeled as government control kill switch. This technology is designed to detect impairment and prevent vehicle operation, not to allow remote deactivation by authorities. Look here. If the government is passing this law and it goes into effect, don't you think that's authorities? You know, let's not go down a wormhole of who's an authority figure and who's not, because the average person that does not really delve deep into the layers of what authority is, they're gonna say, "Oh, well, the police can't do this, and the police can't do that." However, billions of dollars will be spent on systems in states, counties, cities, towns, municipalities, whatever, to be able to monitor this stuff. Like, if your car shuts off, who's coming? Somebody has to come. Somebody has to be notified that you are impaired and that your car shut off. Who is that going to be? Who? Tell me who that's going to be. Tell me who you think that's going to be. Because I'm pretty sure the police are going to show up, right? Because somebody has to be notified that you are impaired. Um, so let me read the key aspects of the kill switch debate. The law mandates that automakers install passive technology to monitor driver performance or detect high blood alcohol content to prevent um, intoxicated driving. So, as I was reading something else, that means there's going to be breathalyzers in your car and some type of thing that you touch that can detect how much alcohol is in your blood, right? So, you've never had an incident before. Now, of course, there are people with the interlock on their car because they've had DUIs and all this stuff. So now these are going to be built into the cars already. Like, help me understand. Um, so there's a misconception that, contrary to rumors, the law does not require a remote government control mechanism to shut down cars in real time. So what are we doing here? If this is a passive system that's going to shut your car down, then what are we talking about? What exactly are we talking about right now? Please help me understand what we're talking about. Controversy. Critics, including several Republican lawmakers, argue this technology violates privacy, to lead to unwarranted tracking, and constitutes government overreach, leading to proposals like the No Kill Switch in Cars Act to repeal the requirement. Now, again, If your car is monitoring you all the time to detect if you are impaired or for whatever, don't you think that's a privacy concern? I mean, we do have cameras in our cars that monitor our driving behavior, I'll say. And let's just think, if you have a dash cam, like I have a Ring dash cam in my Armada. Now, I'm pretty sure Ring has access to those videos because it goes up to the damn cloud. And you cannot tell me, there is no way that you can tell me that nobody has access to those videos but me. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. Let me tell you why I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it because if you have Google Drive, if you have any Google product, any Google product, you can use Gemini to help you search for things that's in your email, in your Google Drive, in your Google Photos. So you cannot tell me that nobody has access to your stuff. Just like if you have any smart devices in your home, like assistants like Google and Alexa. Every command that you give these things are going up in the cloud. Now, I have Astro. If you don't know what Astro is, it's the little no, I'm not calling you. It's the little robot that Amazon put out several years ago that monitors, patrols your house. You can't tell, like, come on now. So let's talk about the functionality, as this is saying. The system being developed aimed to prevent the car from starting if the driver is impaired, functioning more like a sophisticated automatic interlock system rather than a kill switch. Again, I don't know what rock that you might be under, but this is madness to me. It's madness to me. Again, um, how about you just change the laws, man? Come on. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It's bad enough that when you log into Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and everything is tracked. Why are we doing this? What is the like? It's just it's literally mind numbing that this is where we are now. But again, go check out my video about the insurance company telematic programs. Check out Chevy Dude's video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. I am thoroughly annoyed because there's just so many things. There's so many things. So many things. Like, the price of cars are already up. So adding this to cars is going to raise the price of cars. Auto insurance is already expensive as hell. That's going to go up. It's just, and you remember back in the day when you had to go to each insurance company individually to get a quote. Now you go online and they have these I guess I'll call them insurance brokers. They have these weird websites, and you think it's an insurance company, but you go for a quote, and then it sends your information to every insurance company out there. And the crazy thing about it is they'll give you a quoted price, but when you go directly to that insurance company website, it's a totally different price. And here's the crazy thing. Like, again, I got Progressive. So I went to one of those things to see, what rates I can get. And it gave me a quote for Progressive, which was lower than what I was already paying. But it's like I'm like, no, when I'm in there with Progressive, it's giving me this. So what is going on here? Like, I even just for kicks, I went to Maryland Auto Insurance Fund to do a quote. And it took me to all of these all of these other insurance companies. But my main point is this is madness. Like it is straight madness. And I just don't see an end to the nonsense. I just don't. It like if I did not need a car, if I literally did not need a car, I would get rid of them. I would really get rid of them. Car payments are high, car insurance is high, all other nonsense. I road rage is high. Commuting is just a headache. Like if I did not need a car, I would get rid of my cars. Like seriously. But anyway, I'm going to get up off of here because look, I'm getting a headache with this stuff. Yo, but anyway, research this on your own. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.